Hey, welcome everybody. This is the EFT Business Spotlight, and I am Craig Weiner, and you are?
Elena Frank.
Yeah, and we get to have the honor and privilege of doing these kind of get to know your EFT practitioner coaches out there. And so we interview them, we find out what they're doing, the difference that they're making, the areas that they love to work with, more about their practice and business. So I just want to say, welcome, Yolanda.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
It's great to have you here. It's always lovely. So, one of the things that we always like to begin with, because it's always intriguing to us how people found this EFT tapping and fell in love with it in such a way that they wanted to do it and help others with it. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your story.
Sure. I actually first discovered EFT through a video that was going around social media. It was featuring kids in a classroom utilizing it for anxiety. And at the time I was working at a school. So I found it just interesting, even though it looked weird. I was intrigued by it, but I didn't really follow through with doing any more research on it until a couple of months later. There was a workshop being offered at the school. And I remember, signing up for it. And I remember the day of the workshop, it was like a snowstorm coming. The location was not convenient for me to go to. I ended up taking an Uber for the first time. For whatever reason, against all odds, I wanted to go. It was a self-care workshop, right? And when I finally arrived, what do I learn? EFT.
Okay.
And I was just like so happy and amazed. And I wanted to continue learning more. I attended another workshop after that where it was very hands-on. And we were just kind of practicing on each other, and just so much emotional stress was being, released. I mean, we were all crying, like just kind of, it was so emotional, but so good, and such an amazing experience. And I remember leaving the workshop just feeling so light and just like, wow, I didn't even know I still had that, in my body. And after that workshop, I go home, my mother's there, and she had this pain in her arm where she couldn't lift her arm.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, mom, let me try this technique that I learned. Let's see. And she allowed me to. And after an hour tapping with her, I mean, she made some connections. It was just so interesting what came out. And at the end, she was able to lift it maybe like up to here, which was an improvement. She's happy, we're happy, we're satisfied. And I remember the next morning, she calls me and she's like, I'm able to lift my arm all the way up. The pain was gone. She had this pain for months. Yeah. And it was just so like incredible. And from there, I'm like, oh no, I need to really pursue this, know more about it, practice it more. And that's when I somehow came across your website, Elena and Craig. And I took the level 1 and 2. And since then, I mean, I use it on myself, family members, and with my clients. So I love it. It's
great.
amazing.
Remember, the founder of EFT said, try it on everything. There you go. You release emotional baggage, your shoulders moving, who knows? It's really wonderful. That's a great story. Thank you.
All right. So because you are trained and licensed as a therapist, tell me how you see like how EFT helps in with your therapy clients, how you weave it in, how to use it, or even how you might like introduce it to a client that's there for, they're thinking they're going to just be talking to you and then you're going to be doing this tapping. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so a lot of times clients come with a lot of childhood trauma. And there's just so much going on. There's so much that they want to talk about, and it's affecting them today, with a lot of stress, anxiety, and they kind of feel stuck. They don't know how to proceed, right? So they're coming to me for that help, for that assistance, that guidance. And I use it when I see that they're just kind of overwhelmed, let's say, right? There's a lot going on, and it just gives me an opportunity to help them kind of calm that nervous system. It helps them, make connections. It helps them kind of be embodied and in the moment right now, right here, right now. How is it affecting you today? And through the tapping, it just turns out that There's usually some childhood traumas, and they're able to see how it's affecting them today. Yeah, and then it seems like a lot of times there's shame and guilt that comes out from the past that they're able to release and relieve, so that they can now moving forward just live their authentic life, live freely. It really is like emotional freedom that occurs. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
And so tell the folks where that are listening where you're based. Do you do online or in person? Do you do groups? Like tell us about how what's the shape of your practice?
Yes, sure. So I'm based in Newark, New Jersey. So I'm licensed. I'm a licensed therapist in New Jersey. And then I do EFT tapping coach. I can do that all over the world. But right now, being based in New Jersey, being a Latinx therapist, a lot of my clients are in the BIPOC community, so I have a lot of BIPOC clients. And it's just wonderful that I'm able to bring it to my community, to people that can relate to me. I relate to them, and help give them a voice as well.
That's great.
Fabulous.
And I have to say, you are like a bit of a unicorn. Like you're licensed, you know EFT, you're trauma trained, and you're bilingual. I mean, oh my gosh, that's fabulous that we have someone like you that's doing this work. Really good.
Thank you. Yeah,
Now,
thank you.
if
I'm happy to be here, to be able to provide that. Yeah.
Now, if there is someone that's watching this, a Latina woman going through some major life transition, and she's feeling like, at the end of her rope, nothing's gonna help me. I've tried all these things. What message or words of wisdom would you like her to hear from you?
I would like it to hear that, yes, you can. Yes, I can help you. I can guide you. There is a technique out there that you can rewire that brain. I can, you can change. You can you can interrupt patterns. It's just, things maybe that you were taught as a child, you really can achieve. You can. And definitely to invest in self-care, to invest in herself. Yeah.
What's your website address so people can find you?
It's theholisticcounselingcenter.com.
theholisticcounselingcenter.com.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Yolanda. And I love the work that you're doing. It's so important.
Thank you.